We're headed over to Skoggit's house right now. We're going to do that interview just like we promised. He's a really good guy. I hope you guys enjoy this. Hey guys, we're over here at Skoggit's house. We promised an interview for y'all to get to know this man. He's a really good man. So this is Skoggit, for those of you that don't know who he is.
Hi, I'm Skoggit.
Now Skoggit, how did you get the name Skoggit?
I got the name Skoggit. Years ago there used to be an online game called Motor City Online. And that was like an online racing game. And I didn't have really a name. I had a different name what I went by on the game. But I was racing and slammed up against a building, and it had the word Skoggit County on there. And so I saw the word Skoggit. I thought it was different, unique. Nobody would have it. So that's why I chose the word Skoggit.
That's a pretty cool name.
Yeah.
So, what got you into barbecue?
I always had a love for barbecue ever since I was a little kid. In fact, back in the 60s, I remember my dad taking me to a barbecue place here in town. It was called Stubbs Barbecue. And I had the privilege of even meeting the owner of Mr. Stubbs, which now has a bunch of barbecue sauces out and everything. And he had the best barbecue there. I mean, it was just fantastic. I still remember it. And I wanted to get into barbecuing, but I really didn't know how to go about doing it. So in 1973, I remember this, in 1973, there was a guy what gave me a smoker. And it was an offset smoker. It had the firebox, and then had the regular cooking chamber and the chimney and everything. And I got it and didn't even know how to use it. I didn't know what that little box was for. I was like, I said, what is this little box for? How does this thing work? How can anybody make barbecue in this? And I was just dumb for a while. And it sat in my backyard for really a decoration for a while. Until a guy came by and he told me, he says, I asked him about it. It was a friend of the family. And I said, do you know anything about barbecue smokers or grills or whatever? And he said, yeah, I know a little bit. He said, I don't really do much. And I asked him, what's that little box for? So he told me, he said, that's where you put your wood in. Your wood and charcoal, that generates the heat what flows throughout the cooking chamber and out the chimney to cook the barbecue, to slowly cook it. And I'm like, wow. So I went ahead and thought I'd give it a try. Bought me can't remember what it was. It was some kind of meat. It could have been a brisket. I can't remember. It's been so long ago. So I started up the coals, and the coals went out. And I'm like, well, this isn't good because the coals has got to keep flaming. Because in my mind, I thought they had to be flaming, and when they went out, then it was, there was no heat there. That was what I was thinking. But then later, another friend of mine says, no, whenever the coals go out, that means they're ready. So I was dumb. I mean, I didn't know anything about it. I mean, it was just, this was all new to me, and kind of funny because it's, I think back on it and I think, man, I wasn't too bright. But then, there's what's bad about it is, and what's good about it is, there's people out there just like I was, what don't have a clue on how to smoke meat or anything, which because of YouTube and my knowledge and Charlie's knowledge, we can pass it on to others, and that's what's great about it. That's what is just fantastic about YouTube And it just, once I got everything down, I was like having the whole neighborhood wondering what's going on, you know?
Well, that's one thing about YouTube. You know, when I first started barbecuing, there are two guys that I really followed. I was watching the barbecue pitmasters on TV one day, and I happened to notice a gentleman by the name of Malcom Reed.
Malcom Reed.
From Killer Hogs BBQ. He's a competition barbecuer.
Mm.
He's got sauces, rubs. The man can flat out cook barbecue. He's got a great channel. And so I bought my first smoker, and I said, and when I first did my first cook, oh, it was terrible. It was not good. So I asked Malcolm some questions on his Facebook Messenger, and he took the time and gave me some tips, and then from there I took on. So, and then there's another guy, T-Roy Cooks. I don't know if you know T-Roy. If you've seen him on YouTube.
I think I'm subscribed to him. T-Roy he knows a lot.
T-Roy is just down to earth, great guy. We're gonna I'll put T-Roy's thing up here for y'all, and Malcolm's as well, so you guys can go check them out if you don't know who they are. I'll also put Skoggit's up here also. In the description box, I'll put all the links to their websites and stuff like that. So, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
What is your favorite thing to cook?
My favorite thing to cook out of everything, I would say, would be the brisket. Because the brisket to me is, you go down, and the key is in choosing the right one and what to look for when you're choosing it. How to tell whether it's from an old cow or a younger cow. A younger cow is going to be a lot more tender meat than the older. And just the challenge of going down and choosing that brisket, bringing it home, trimming it up, and getting it set just perfect the way you want it to go into that smoker. And slowly cooking it like the whole day. I stayed up one time 22 hours making brisket, and that's no lie. It's just, you can't rush it. It's going to get done when it gets done. In fact, I've had invited guests over, and the brisket wasn't done. They said, when is it going to get done? I said, it's done whenever it gets done. Oh, so it might be, I said, it might be an hour from now. It might be 2 hours. Who knows? Whenever it's done, because you can't rush it.
That's
And
right.
if you want to eat shoe leather, then I'll go ahead and take it off. But that's my favorite thing to cook is the brisket, and because it's a challenge. Every time I cook one, it's a challenge because I have gotten bad briskets where the meat's tough and from an older cow, and I have got some really good ones where the meat is just tender and you cut into it, everything's good. So it's a challenge. That's why I like it, because it gives, every time I cook a brisket, it's a challenge to whether I'm going to make that brisket come out the way I want it to.
Right.
Or is it going to be tough? Is it going to be like moist and tender? Is it going to have too much smoke? Is it not going to have enough smoke? And that's the biggest challenge to me is in the brisket, and that's what makes that piece of meat my favorite.
There are two things that are really hard to cook. I mean, whole hog, which I've never done, and a brisket, because they are tough to get them right perfect every time. Each brisket's different. Now, so speaking of brisket, guys, I want to let you know that he's a championship barbecuer. He has won contests, and as a matter of fact, he has a thing over here. It is for his brisket. I want to show the folks your apron that you got.
It's a really nice apron. What I won back in. This was back in 2013. Yeah. For my brisket championship, and this is a pure leather apron, which this was awarded to the winner. There's not another one like it around, and that's what makes it so unique. And it's just, I'm really proud of this because I was the one what won it. There was, I think, around 50 entries to go for this, and I was the one what came out the winner. So that's just
Not only did he win that in that competition, he also won for was it the pork butt?
the pork shoulder. Yes,
Pork shoulder.
Pulled pork shoulder. I won another one, and there was more entries in this one. I believe it was like 75 entries, but they gave away a spatula in the got the state of Texas there, and it has right there the Pitmaster champion, it says across there, 2013. So 2013 for some reason was a good year for me. And I haven't entered any since then. And I hope to enter more. I really do. I hope to enter more competitions and everything. And I like to compete because I like to see if I'm better than the next guy. And something else on my brisket, all the other contestants were putting together their rubs and stuff and trash talking and everything, which that's good, that's fun. I just went with kosher salt and black pepper, believe it or not.
Straight
And
Texas
straight
style brisket.
Texas barbecue joint style.
That's right.
And everybody, the judges liked it, thought it had the perfect smoke ring. It was just cooked perfect, and the rest is history.
So if you're winning 2 competitions in one cook-off, that means you're cooking some serious barbecue. So, how long have you had your YouTube channel?
I started my YouTube channel in 2007, and I didn't, when I first got the channel, I didn't make videos. I just had the channel, and really, I'm not computer savvy, so I really didn't know how to upload videos. And there was one gentleman what's on YouTube, fantastic guy, is JB, let me see, it's JB007. I can't, he changed his YouTube name. Louisiana Cooking. Yeah, it's Louisiana Cooking, 007 Bond or something to that effect. But anyway, he walked me through the process by sending me emails and walked me through the process of how to go about doing it. And I want to thank him. I really need to get his, since he changed this, Louisiana Cooking, 007 Bond JB or something like that. Anyway,
Yeah, we'll look
he
him
goes
up.
by JB. He had another name, but then he changed it not too long ago, and I can't remember it. I go to his channel all the time, and I just, you know how it is, you know, the channel you're going to, but then I just right off my head can't remember him. But he's the one what got me into, like, really got me into making them, and ever since then I made my first one. I think my first video was on ice cream scoop, what I put on there, and since then it just took off. And I have the same camera what I used on the first one, and I still use that same camera today. And I went down, I think the camera cost me something like $49, $59.
I think Reggie and I are going to get together and buy you a new camera.
You might need, I think I need one. This one is like, you know, ancient.
Speaking of you liking to have competition, now I did notice last week when Big Reggie came into town and there was supposed to be a competition. I didn't get invited until it was, you know, I didn't have enough time to prepare for a competition. So I think y'all are afraid of me.
Well, the thing is with that is Big Reggie came to town, and he was going to call me. He said, I'll call you before I get into town. He said, I'll call you, give you plenty of notice. So, you know, you can know that I'm coming and everything. Well, that didn't happen. I come home from work one evening, and he shows up like 15 minutes after I'm here. And that was a big surprise because he didn't call or anything, and he was here, which that didn't give me enough time to prepare for letting you know ahead of time on what was going on. And
Yeah,
I apologize
sounds
for
like
that.
excuses to me.
I apologize for that. But we'll hopefully we can get together in the spring.
Yeah.
And everything, and I'm sure that me and Charlie will be doing some barbecue together.
Yeah, soon.
Pretty soon. I know the weather's getting kind of cold right now, but that don't stop me. If you know from my videos, I do it out there on the snow all year round.
Speaking of,
I don't think Charlie would want to wade down here in the snow though. But no, he might.
that's a challenge right there.
Yeah, just getting over
All
here.
right, so yeah, we'll have to do the winter barbecue contest, I guess.
Oh, that'd be a good one. Well, we'll have to have a lot of fuel to run those smokers because I tell you what, those during the winter, it's a total different story. It uses more fuel, but that's no problem.
So, how many smokers do you have?
Well, let's see. I believe I got right now 6 smokers and grills. I got the great big one, which I call Hoss. Then I got the Oklahoma Joe, which I call Little Joe. Then I got another one is a smoker grill, which I call Adam. Then I got Wrangler Jane, she's a small one. I have the Weber grill, which that's called Paladin. And then I have my pit barrel, which I call it the Duke.
The Duke.
And that's after John Wayne, because John Wayne can take care of anything, and this pit barrel can take care of anything.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of videos on that smoker.
Fantastic, fantastic. If you guys are just a first timer out there, that would be the one to get. There's no, it's one-time vent set. You set the vent one time. There's no temperature gauges. Fill the basket up, put the wood in, and let it go, and the meat hangs and it cooks it. I mean, it's just, it's my go-to smoker, and it doesn't take a lot of, it takes about half a bag of Kingsford, and it's just for people just starting out, that would be excellent for them. I mean, it's just excellent.
So that leads me to my next question.
Okay.
What is your favorite smoker?
My favorite smoker right now is, well, not a smoker or a cooker, it's a pit barrel. It's got to be a pit barrel. My second favorite is Oklahoma Joe. That's my offset, is Oklahoma Joe, and then it goes to my great big one, which I rarely use unless I have a big party, and I got to tell you a story about the party what I had where fired up that big one. It was Texas game. Had the TV outside, set the chairs around, had a canopy up and all the tables out, and invited 20 of my friends. 75 showed up. So it was like, yeah, he's smoking meat. Yeah, he's cooking over here, da da da. So my wife said, is this legal to have this many people over here? I said, I don't know. I said, but if police comes, I said, don't worry about it. I'll give them some barbecue and it'll all be good. And in fact, I had to send my wife over to make another meat run because we didn't have enough.
Your phone's ringing.
Yeah, the checks. No, the check's in the mail.
All right, so we're gonna, instead of taking the video outside of the smokers, I'll take pictures and we'll put them on the end of the video so you guys can see what type of smokers he has. The big one, is that the one you won the championships on?
It's the Oklahoma Joe.
The Oklahoma Joe.
The Oklahoma Joe.
So we'll show you that one. I'm sure you guys know what that is. We're going to put a link to the Pit Barrel Smoker in here also for you guys. And that guy has made a really, really good smoker. I was over here watching that thing when they were doing their competition, him and Big Reggie last week. And I wish I could have stayed. so I can taste some good barbecue from both of these guys.
We wish you could have too, because I might have won. If you would have stayed, I might have won. He might have chose mine. But
Well, Big Reggie, you know, he's saying that he's still better than you, so...
well, I'll tell you what, when he comes in the spring, he said he's going to bring his own pit barrel, and he's got it set up his way. I got mine, and I don't know what we're going to do for cooking. Heck, we might do a brisket. I don't know.
Oh, the throwdown on the brisket.
Yeah.
All right, so what tips would you give a new YouTube channel up and coming
Like for the barbecuing?
for barbecue? Yeah, for barbecuing. How have you been successful on YouTube and getting the subscribers? And I know it's not all about the subscribers, right? So it's
Yeah.
nice to have the subscribers, and we do appreciate each and every one of
Yes,
you
we do.
guys. But for me, it's doing barbecue and learning from other people and putting out the knowledge that I have learned
Mm-hmm.
to help somebody else.
Yeah, that's
right. So that's for me. That's what I like to do. I love to do it for you guys, and I know that's what you like to do as well.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
But for somebody that's starting a new YouTube channel, for cooking, barbecue, whatever, what tips would you give them to be successful at what they're doing?
The biggest tip what I can give to anybody starting out is be yourself. Don't be somebody else. Don't try to like act like somebody you're not, because that's not going to work. Me, on my videos, I am the way I am. I mean, I don't impersonate nobody or anything, but that's the biggest, because I found out I like to see people as they really are. I don't want to see someone out there what is like trying to be somebody else. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like personality-wise, they're a different personality than what than they really are.
Right.
And something else is like if you get into barbecuing and making videos, don't get discouraged with the barbecue. I mean, I've in my time, if I can tell you how many briskets, how much barbecue I've messed up. If you have about, I guess maybe 5 years, I can tell you about it all. But sure you don't have that long. But just don't get discouraged. I mean, people's out there to help you, and if you get into it and don't understand something, then you can send me a personal message. I'll see if I can help you. I mean, that's what I'm there for. And I'm like always trying to help people do good and be successful in their channels. And it's just like YouTube, you kind of like, it's kind of funny because you're like a family out there, and you meet some really wonderful people. You really do. And it's a lot of fun. To me, it's a stress reliever for me. And when I'm making my videos, there's times when I screw up my video. And I know there's a bunch of them out there what I've screwed up, but I keep the camera rolling and kind of smooth it over and everything. But that's the best advice I can give, is just be yourself, and you know, just don't try to be someone that you're not. Like, you know, that's the best advice I can give.
That's some good advice. Really good advice. So guys, this has been our time here with Skoggit, and we do appreciate you letting us come over here.
Oh, I appreciate you, and this is the first interview I've ever done, and it was an honor for me to be able to give you the information on it.
That's all right. My
myself
pleasure.
and-
My pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and you're welcome back anytime.
Well, thank you. And guys, please look up his channel. Check him out. He's got some really good stuff on there.
And he does too.
Well, thank you. And
The other day he gave me brought me a burger press, and it's kind of funny because I saw that him using that in his video, and I told my wife, I said, come and look at this. I'm going to try to check Amazon and see if they have one. And that same day he brings me one. So it's like, wow, and I'm like, whoa, and I have a video on that, you guys need to check that out.
I'm psychic.
And it's just a fine gesture on Charlie's part, and like I say, you meet some really great people on YouTube, you really do.
Yeah, you really do. You really
And
do.
some of them, like, me and Charlie didn't even know we lived in the same town.
Right? He saw that, he hit me up, and he says, hey, I think we live in the same town, and so we got to talking, and lo and behold, that same day I came over here and met him, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a video on that.
Yeah. So we're going to get those pictures taken, show you guys what he's got, and got any questions for him, hit him up on his channel. Guys, we appreciate each and every one of you, everybody that watches our channels. If there's anything that we can, any questions at all, just hit us up, and we will answer you as soon as we can. And guys, this has been an interview with Skoggit. We'd like to thank him and for everything that he does for everybody out there on YouTube. And it was an honor being here. And guys, we'd like to thank you for watching Charlie Smoking Barbecue. Y'all come back and see us. Now you hear?
And yeah, this is Skoggit, and y'all take care.